Hello, everyone.
Morning.
Happy Thursday and welcome to our Thursday Tea and Toast. It's me, Georgia, who's conversation starter here at the yard, and I'm joined today by Jasmine, as
Morning.
always.
Yeah, I'm a conversation starter too at the yard. Yesterday we were at home.
Yeah,
Today we are back in the yard, and at the moment technology is working. Our internet is working, so let's hope it
yeah.
stays that way.
How are you feeling today, Jasmine?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy. The sun is shining, but I feel really tired today. I was just saying to Georgia before we came online, I'm really tired. I just don't know if I'm a bit Thursday-ish, and I don't know about you. I was speaking to someone last night. It feels like we've had such a long time of being quite a slow pace of life,
Yeah,
and I feel like now everything is 100 miles
coming
an
out.
hour again.
Yeah,
Like even like my kids, all their clubs are starting again. I'm back in the office most days, and it just feels we're very quickly going back into a real fast pace of life. And
yeah, I agree.
yeah, it's tiring. I'm not sure if I want this pace of life anymore. I quite liked my sort of more slower, mundane days. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's difficult, isn't it? Because on the one, like everyone had to adjust very quickly to
Yeah,
the pandemic. It's not like that we were like, oh, in 2 months' time we're gonna have a
yeah,
pandemic, so everyone better get used to working from home.
yeah,
Instead, it was like, no, okay, everyone's got to like quarantine and
yeah,
self-isolate and all this. And now it's like the shops are opening back up,
yeah,
restaurants, you can kind of see people a little bit more now.
yeah,
So I think there's like an exhaustion
mm,
physically
yeah.
from going to and from places again.
Definitely. I mean, I remember when we, sorry, to interrupt, when we
That's right.
first went into the lockdown last year, and I remember when he said that first like stay at home statement, and I remember
Yeah.
feeling really panicked, thinking, "Oh my God, I've got to stay at home. I can't go anywhere,"
Mm.
because it was so unnatural to us all,
Yeah.
wasn't it? You know, and that thought of being sort of confined to our own houses and whatnot, I found really scary to begin with. But isn't it funny how really quickly we've
Mm.
adjusted, and now, and so many people I speak to are saying the same things, not really wanting to go back to how it
Yeah.
was, and we've all found our new little groove, our new sort of
Exactly. Yeah.
routine, and yeah, I'm just a bit blooming exhausted, to be honest. My routine's all out. I don't know if I'm coming or going. I feel like I'm turned into mum's taxi again. So yeah, that's me. Looking forward to Friday and having a bit, well, I was going to say relaxing weekends, but I don't get them either because my kids just do their hobbies all weekend.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, but at least a bit of time off work anyway.
Yeah. So there's the physical exhaustion of that, and then I also think that there's like a social exhaustion
Mm,
as well because we are seeing people again now,
yeah,
and I think it's just like I don't know. I just don't think I have as much. I
much to
have
say.
as much patience
Oh,
as
okay.
well. Like I don't think I have as much to say because obviously we're not doing as much. But then I
Yeah,
also feel like if I'm in a conversation, I'm just kind of like,
yeah.
okay, I'm ready for this to be.
So you think you've lost some of your social skills
Yeah,
because you've
yeah,
been like a hermit for so long.
yeah. And I think yeah. So I used to be able to talk for England, like my mum, like all my family talk for England, and now I'm just loud. Like I can't even talk that much, but when I do, it's very loud, and
Yeah,
that's all I can.
yeah.
That's all I've got.
It's funny, isn't it? It's this whole pandemic, this whole year and a bit has affected us all so in so many different ways,
Yeah,
and it does make you wonder whether it's changed us as people. I think it probably has.
I think it has. Yeah.
It's definitely made, I'd say, 99% of people I speak to, it's made us all very much more appreciative of things that perhaps before we didn't put that much importance on.
Yeah.
You know, things like see you later, yeah, things like, you know, seeing our friends and family, spending that quality time. It's definitely made me, not that I was really materialistic before, but it's made us realise what's important in life.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
exactly.
mean? And
Yeah.
it isn't the cars, the bags, the
Mm,
this, the that. It's having that quality time with friends and family and connecting with people, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. But even that, I'm struggling with.
Struggling. Oh,
Like just with the social exhaustion, it's
yeah,
like like I've never really been a materialistic person anyway.
yeah.
But like now, it's like I don't even really care about the other stuff.
Oh my
Like I
gosh.
think it's nice. Like I like hanging out.
Yeah.
Um, I like it with my family because they talk. So all I
You
have to
can
do
just
is,
listen.
yeah, I'll just sit and listen to them. So
Mm,
and I find I like listening to people anyway. I think it's
yeah.
interesting when my sister's storytellers,
Hmm.
so they'll like give me half an hour about like their one gym trip,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and it'll just be on one part of the one gym trip.
Yeah.
So my sister was telling me the other day, she was at the gym and there was like this special machine, and do you know what it's called when you do like a dippy up?
Oh, like a
Yeah, I don't know what that is called. So if anyone
like a
is
tricep
watching,
dip.
okay, tricep dip, but she calls it dippy ups.
Okay.
So she was telling us about how like she was well good at dippy ups
Mm.
because there's like a counterweight.
Oh, okay.
So she was like, "Oh yeah, so I was doing really well." And then my dad was like, "Is that just because you've got no weight? Because you've got the counterweight, so you're actually not lifting
Yeah, yeah,
anything." Do
yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And then oh yeah, so it was all of that. So yeah, and that conversation went on for about half an hour. So I was
Yeah.
just sitting there listening to
I
her.
mean, I don't know. I'm thinking it's a bit concerning if you're now feeling like you don't want to talk very much and your job is a conversation starter. We might be running into a few problems here. I mean, I don't know. You
Look,
know,
look, I can start the
call me
conversation.
crazy, but
I
this
can,
girl doesn't want to talk anymore, and her job title is conversation starter. So I'm not sure how we're going to progress from here.
look, my job is to start conversations, yeah? So if I just go, right, India, there you go, there's a conversation for free. You've
Yeah.
got that.
I think there might need to be a little bit more input from you on that. I mean, I guess this is probably something we're going to have to work on. I mean, I don't want to come out of my house. I've turned into a hermit and I'm quite happy just sitting there. And then this one just doesn't want to talk.
I don't
So,
want to talk.
I mean, it's a barrel of laughs at work every morning, I tell you. Honestly, well, it's such a barrel of laughs. I'm sitting here and I'm annoyed because I'm not in my own house. She won't talk.
She's livid. I've
Oh,
got
yeah.
Jasmine, when I come in the morning, Jasmine is just like a storm.
I'm like,
She's just
oh,
like, I don't want to be here. I want to go
I
home.
want to be sat in my dining room.
And I just go, I don't want to talk.
And then I'm
So,
just like sat here in silence until, oh, it's time to do tea and toast now. Gosh, honestly, it's a barrel of laughs at this work.
you've actually got me
This
crying.
is
I'm actually crying.
this is why I cannot wait until restrictions ease again and we can actually have some of you guys down in here with us, because at least then I don't have to sit in silence with Georgia, and hopefully someone will want to have a conversation with me.
If
You
Steve
know,
or Bianca are watching this, I see Steve's watching this. So, Steve, she's actually making me cry. So, if you could like get on that.
so yeah, I mean, I've loved being at home during the pandemic, but I haven't loved how everything's had to move over to this sort of forum. I'm not a big fan of doing this. We've had to learn to do it, haven't we?
Yeah.
There's been no other option, and like so many businesses have had to adapt what they're doing to enable them to be able to carry on.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to get back to that sort of bit of normality when we can just have the doors open, 62 Gold Street, and you can pop in and have a cuppa with us and have a chat, and that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Because it's just that bit of more sort of human interaction, because on these it's just sort of talking to each other but to a screen, and it's just very bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, it is quite bizarre. I mean, like say like when we're at home, like say if we're doing tea and toast from home, it kind of makes more sense.
Yeah.
Just blink twice if you're being held against your will, is what Steve says. There you go. Send help. Send SOS.
Send help. We're the only ones in the building, so I can do anything I want now until someone else comes in. Georgia will be under my control.
Yeah, so yeah, when we're at home and we're doing tea and toast, it makes more sense because we're not together. So when we're looking like at our webcams or if we're looking at our computer screens, it's like, well, they're at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course. But then when we're sitting here, it's like I'm talking to you, but then I'm also talking to them. But if they're not talking to me, then I'm just talking to you, and then
it's very bizarre.
Yeah, so it is more.
And probably more bizarre because today I don't think we've done just a you and I tea and toast for a long time. We've normally got a few different members of the team, or we've got someone from a different organisation coming in to join us. So it's even more bizarre when it's just the two of us, because the conversation sometimes. Well, it just gets difficult what to say, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And honestly, we're sat here, we're looking out onto Gold Street, and we've got loads of people walking past, and they what you'll find is if you come down to the yard in the near future, we've got big glass windows, so you can obviously see lots of people walking past, and you'll also find a lot of people stop to have a little look
peek,
in.
yeah.
And then they just see me and Georgia sat here, like talking to a laptop, talking to a webcam, and I honestly feel like, you know, when on This Morning and they used to have that set and people could walk, I feel like we're on the set of like some sort of TV show, you know. I have to go out and sign some autographs in a minute. But yeah, it's just all very bizarre. But yeah, I guess that's COVID for you. It's
that's and it's quite so me and Jasmine, I'd say that we're both quite like people watchers.
Yes.
So we love watching people. And I mean, obviously in Northampton, you're always going to have some characters like walking down the street. Gary's just said animals in the zoo. Exactly. That is exactly how I feel. But there's so many different people and different kinds of people, different groups of people walking down the street or, you know, whatever. So it's very interesting to just kind of sit back and look at the demographic that we are and the demographic of the people in Northampton. So I just find it really interesting, and I'm sure they find us very interesting as well, because we're just sat here.
I do love a good people watch anyway, and actually here it's perfect. I mean, I've seen some funny odd things go on here. One day I was sat here and you wasn't here then. This was back last year. This is before we went into the sort of November lockdown, and I was just sat here one day and a guy come flying down on his bike, sort of misjudged the gap between him and the bin, smashed into the bin, flew over the top of his bike. I ran out to him because it looked really bad. Honestly, I think he must have really hurt himself, but he was trying to be sort of brave, and I was trying to get him to come in and sit down and let him give him a glass of water, but I think he felt probably embarrassed. I'm telling you now, that man must have really hurt himself. But yeah, you see all sorts. Like I've seen cars, because this street is a one-way street for buses. Bikes are allowed to come back down the other way. I've seen cars come down and then there's a bus there. Honestly, all goes on.
Oh, and because of where we are, there's quite a few like restaurants and takeaway places like near us.
Yeah.
So we often have like delivery people come down the street, don't we?
Yeah.
And they're like, and then they come onto the pavement and they just kind of go and park outside, don't they?
I was just saying as well, this is not a good place to be if you're on a diet. So directly opposite us, we've got Dixtery Peri Peri Chicken Place, and I was just saying.
Do you know what? I thought it was called Dixtery. I need to say this. So across from us, it looks like it says Dixtery.
Yeah, is it not?
When I looked up on Just Eat for no reason,
just in case,
for no reason, it's actually called Dixter's.
Oh, is that an S on the end?
That's a Z.
Oh.
But I thought it was a Y.
Gosh,
so yeah, that's like, if you've ever come down to the building, directly opposite is this really, really nice looking peri peri place. I've actually had chips in there before and it's really good. So shameless like plug for them. Well done.
Maybe they'll give us some free food.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, anyone from Dixter's, I know that you do pizzas now, and pizza's my favourite. So yeah, this is not a good place because there's so many food places. We've got Sorrentino's there; they do amazing food. Got a Caribbean place. We've got a lush sandwich shop at the top of the street. But this chicken place opposite, I didn't know that they did pizzas. And one of the lads that was in here one day went over and got a pizza at about 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I've got my salad in the fridge because I'm trying to be good and be on a diet. It just sits there just like nailing this pizza. Now pizza is
nailing this pizza.
Honestly, this pizza is if I was on death row and they said to me, what do you want for your last meal? It would be pizza, Hawaiian with extra sweet corn, thin crust. Anyway, now I know they do pizza now, so I'm sat here thinking, God, pizza. And you know what it's like when you can smell someone's food? It's amazing.
I'm never going to go over there nailing that
pizza. No, he nailed it. Honestly, he really did. He loved it. I don't blame him. It looked delicious. So
yeah, so obviously that's, now we've covered. People walk past us.
Food.
There's food everywhere. So basically, if you ever come down to the yard, which obviously we want you to, when you can and everything, there's food and people for days.
It's all going on.
You can't move from.
No, it's definitely all going on. Hi, Ronzo. Oh, pineapple and pizza. What? What's your view? Pineapple on pizza?
I don't really eat pizza that much.
She doesn't like cheese.
Yeah, so I don't like cheese. Okay, so here's the thing. So I used to be very, very particular with what kind of foods could be eaten together. Yeah. So I wouldn't have.
Hold on, Gary. I'm sorry. You don't like pizza? What is wrong with you? Oh, man, I'm not sure I can talk to someone who doesn't like pizza. It is my favourite. I know, exactly. Steve's just said, how can you not like pizza? It's literally the best. I could eat pizza every day of the week if I was allowed, if my body would allow me to. Yeah, sorry, go on then.
Yeah, so I used to be very particular with like what foods I kind of associated in my mind with each other. But then I started eating like different foods from around the world, like different inspired foods, like Mexican food and stuff like that. So I really enjoy having like a mango salsa with like chicken and that. Buying and chicken together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, you know, in Chinese restaurants, you can get lemon duck.
Oh, look, now my partner's coming in. So my partner's now getting in on the action.
I thought he was working.
He's supposed to be working. So Barclays, if you're wondering where one of your, why one of your people aren't like, working properly, it's because he's actually just
if you wonder
ganging up on me.
His productivity is down on a Thursday.
Yeah. It's because he's watching his girlfriend and
saying that you hate most things.
Ganging up on me.
See, so it's all coming out now. See, look, Gary, snap. Cheese is horrible. Mouldy milk. Cheese is.
Yes, Gary. Yes, Gazza.
No, I love cheese. I could have cheese on everything.
I think me and Gary would get along.
Sadly, too many carbs. Just based on that. Yeah, Steve. That's why I can't eat pizza every day. Way too many carbs. But if I could, I would. I love it. So you wouldn't have? Would you have? If you were going to eat a pizza, would you have pineapple on it?
Depends on the type of pizza.
Hawaiian, ham,
okay,
mushroom, pineapple, cider, and sweet corn. Oh, it's the one, I'm telling you now. If you haven't yet tried it,
I wouldn't. Okay, so maybe it's just my weird brain. So I wouldn't associate like ham and fruit together either.
But you have gammon, and people have pineapple on gammon.
Yeah, but I don't eat fish.
Gammon's not fish.
What's gammon?
Oh my god, that is the best thing you've ever said. I don't eat fish. Gammon.
What's gammon?
It's like ham. It's
like a pig?
Yeah. I can't believe you thought.
It's actually a pig.
I cannot believe you thought gammon
Why
was fish.
Why isn't it called pig then?
This is hilarious. Anyone else watching actually thought that gammon was fish. This is brilliant. That's got to be the funniest thing I've ever heard you say. Rum ham.
What's rum ham?
Rum ham. Can anyone else believe that Georgia thought gammon was fish?
I didn't know. Yeah, salmon. I know salmon. Salmon's definitely a fish. I've got that.
So gammon is like.
Oh my god! All right, so we went to this chip shop the other day, and it's called Nick's Place. Yeah. So I thought it was PLACE. Yeah. Nick's Place, right? So we go there, and I go, and we're trying to Google it so we can get directions. And I go, why is it called?
That you they've spelt it wrong.
So I thought it was like with an accent. So I was going Next Place because that's how it sounded like PLAICE.
Yeah, but obviously it's a fish.
Yeah. So Stephen goes, it's a fish, and I go, how do you know that? Like, why would you know such a thing? But I was just going around going, oh yeah, we're going to Next Place.
Brilliant.
Like that.
Brilliant.
So I just thought that was like a really.
I can't believe that. So Steve, oh, that's very funny. Steve's just said gammon is an old angry man with a red face.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I thought that was a fish.
Oh my gosh.
I thought when people were saying that like old white men, basically racist white men, were gammons, I thought they were saying that they were fish. I didn't know that it was like a pig.
So to go back to what we were saying, so you said, well, fruit doesn't really go with like ham, but if you order gammon in a restaurant, people have pineapple on it.
I would expect a fish to come. Yeah.
You'd be fuming if it came and it was. I wanted fish. I said gammon.
No, but I don't eat fish, so I'd be. So if Stephen was like, oh yeah, I'll order you some gammon, I'd be livid because I'd say I don't eat fish, Stephen. You know that.
Right. Stephen. You need to get Georgia some gammon, and please do her gammon one night, and then you can come back and tell me whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I will do.
people just walking past, just give them a little wave.
Like the Queen.
Hello.
Hello.
Let's not start talking about the royal family. It could
Oh,
rapidly
not again.
all go downhill from there. Okay, let's move on then from gammon and ham and pineapple and pizza. And literally, I'm starving now talking
I know,
about all this food.
it's so
I'm so
bad.
hungry. What day is it today?
Thursday.
Yeah. What other day is it?
Oh, it's Earth Day.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
This is like going terribly well this morning.
It's Thursday.
So today is actually Earth Day, isn't it? April the 22nd is Earth Day. And what's Earth Day all about?
Is it? I don't actually. Okay, I'm gonna guess. So, is it about like the environment and like all the like global warming and that?
Yeah. So it says here, Earth Day is an annual event on April the 22nd to demonstrate support for environmental protection. It actually first started in 1970. And apparently there's quite a lot of events coordinated globally by earthday.org. So yeah, Earth Day to me would mean like thinking about our environment, thinking about our climate. And something I heard on the news this morning. So 2020 was the warmest year on record in Europe. I mean, we did have a really lush summer last year, didn't we? It felt a bit like as soon as Boris locked us down, the sun then shone, didn't it?
Do you know what? All I remember of last summer was that me and my partner would have to have like 3 fans on at night because it was so hot that you like just could not sleep.
Yeah.
And like no covers, no like blankets or anything, and just like
boiling.
Yeah, boiling.
And it was lovely because obviously I don't think hardly anyone got a summer holiday last year, did we? So it was nice to have that weather. But I guess like, you know, they are saying the extremes of weather we're having now, we're having a lot hotter weather than we've had before. And then some of the colder weather is because of climate change, isn't it? And it's quite a big thing at the minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, climate change is like fact, isn't it now?
Yeah.
Like it's fact. Like I think a lot of people have been sort of denying climate change for quite a long time, but I mean, you can't deny it. Like when you have like snow in April and boiling hot summer days in September. I mean, it's not like completely out of the realm of possibility, but then climate change isn't overnight, is it? It's not like 1 year it's going to suddenly go like mad. It's been happening for like years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
So this is just like more evidence, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. Should we play that little clip that we've got now?
Yeah, we've got a little clip for everyone.
There isn't any sound, so don't worry that you can't hear it. It's just it's quite an interesting little video to watch. Humanitarian crisis.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was a really, really powerful clips, wasn't it? That first part, actually quite saddening, watching
Really
how our
saddening.
planet is sort of being destroyed.
Yeah.
Mostly by us.
Well, I would say 100% by us because there's no other animal that causes this kind of destruction, is there?
No, like Gary's just said, humans are the most destructive animals on the planet. Definitely.
Yeah, there's no animal because every animal, apart from human beings, work within their ecosystem, whereas we've like taken over every different sort of area on Earth.
Yeah, I mean, I really loved on one of those clips, you saw people sort of on a protest, and one of them had a sign saying, "There is no planet B."
Yeah.
And that, well, I love that statement because that's one, there is no planet B. This is it. We've got to protect what we've got. And, you know, if you think about, you know, the future generations and what, you know, they're going to be left with, and they have to, it's really sad. There's a lot that needs to be done.
100%. Yeah, so what do you think, or what do we think that we do to kind of offset or to reduce our carbon footprint? So I think for me, I try and buy as sustainably as I can. It's not always possible. I try and reduce like food waste. I try and buy stuff that is, you know, eco-friendly or at least is like fair trade kind of thing.
Yeah, I do a lot of that as well. I guess for me as well, because I drive, I really am conscious of that impact on the environment. So I do try to, and also try to teach my children, if you can walk somewhere, walk.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's not, like you say, with everything, it's not always possible. I can't do it all the time, but if there's an option of can we walk, and you know, I think that's a good way to go. I mean, in the pandemic, do you remember when that first lockdown happened, and it was very, very obviously really strict one, and a lot of people were working from home, and there was some sort of I don't know, sort of test thing done, and the reduction in car fumes and all of that on there, it was huge, just by everyone having that
just
sort
working from home,
staying at home, the reduction of traffic on motorways and the big roads. It had such a huge impact on the environment.
The dolphins went back to Venice, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like for the first time in however many years, the dolphins returned to the Venice canals, and they were just like chilling out, weren't they?
Yeah.
Because there were no people.
Yeah, it's mental. So Gary says packaging is a huge problem. Huge problem. And that's one of my real bugbears. I don't know, I'm pretty sure everyone would have experienced this. You know, if you order something from like Amazon, like something really small, and it comes in this huge massive box with all brown paper in it, that really bugs me.
That really irritates me.
Why do they do that? What is the need for that?
I don't know. I mean, I think someone that I've always had that issue with is Argos. If you get deliveries by Argos, they have so much packaging, it's not even funny. Like, it's so ridiculously
excessive.
Yeah, to the point where you're just like, I almost don't want to buy from there because I know it's going to have all this packaging. And
well, it puts you off using those companies, doesn't it?
100%,
to be honest, I'm surprised a company as big as Amazon hasn't tried to be more
eco-friendly.
Because you would have thought
it's not like they don't have the money for
That's what I mean. The size of them, really, there is no excuse for that. I think. But yeah, I guess it's just, you know, important to remember, like today, and about our climate and our environment. And it's just, if we all just try and do our little bit, I guess that's what it's about.
All we can do,
and that's all we can do. If we all do our little bits, and it will start to make a difference. If we all teach our children, or you know, the right things to do, that's how we're going to sort of make a change, isn't it? So let's just have a look. Profit, planet.
Yeah, so you're saying the profit is more important to them than the planet, and that's absolutely true.
Yeah, definitely. So Gary, Amazon is just about making the money. Yeah, it is, and it's a really sad state of affairs, really. That you know, when the environment is in such dire straits, that still comes above anything else. And I know there are a lot of people that boycott those sort of companies for those reasons, because they feel very strongly about their lack of, friendliness, so to speak, and they will boycott. It's annoying because Amazon's one of those real convenient.
Yeah, exactly, because you can literally get something the next day.
Yeah, and they know that.
Yeah.
They've got everyone over a barrel, haven't they?
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
know.
Yeah, because I mean, if you've got, say, for instance, like older people or disabled people who may not be able to go out to the shops as frequently, or that, they really need something to make a repair in their home, or anything like that. It's so much more. It's so much easier for them to just kind of get the next day delivery.
It's convenience for them, which you can't blame them.
Yeah.
We've all done it. But yeah, it would be nice to see Amazon, and not just Amazon. There's a lot of other companies out there, but that's just one that really just springs to mind for me.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's the biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess just if we all do our little bit, that's all we all can do.
And support companies that do make an effort. You know what I mean? Like, because if Amazon were to realise that actually people would boycott them for not doing those things, they would quickly start doing them, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Because otherwise they'd lose out on loads of money.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah. Oh well, watch this space. I guess it's one of them things. It's not going to nothing's going to change overnight, is it? But if we all,
make an effort.
Yeah. Hopefully, we can make a difference. Okay, so moving on today, one of the things that we had down to talk about today. Oh, the police are just walking by the front now. They didn't look in though, did they?
No.
Didn't give us a little wave. Two police ladies.
They didn't do the hopscotch.
No,
either,
didn't give us a little wave or anything. Right, miserable. So yeah, one of the things we've got down to talk about today is housing.
Yes.
I've gone then, Georgia. You kick us off, because Georgia is the fountain of all knowledge on this, not me.
Yeah. So yeah, Gary's just said you're guilty.
You're guilty. I know.
Hide. Yeah. Yeah. So housing is a massive issue in Northamptonshire. I mean, it's an massive issue around the world, especially in the UK where we are. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of give some statistics and just kind of go to show like how difficult things are at the moment. So
sorry, Steve just said hi, Luke.
Hi, Steve. You're right.
He's just wandering around in the background trying to make himself look busy.
And everybody else watching.
He's trying to make himself look busy in case any of the bosses are watching and they think, oh yeah, Luke's really busy today. Or he's just nipping out.
He's gone now.
Oh, he's probably going to get pizza. If he comes back with food and he's going to try and torment me with it, I'm not going to be happy. Sorry, Georgia.
That's all right. So yes, there was all of these statistics that I found that I thought were really interesting. So it looks like that there is a need for 3,963 homes in Northamptonshire for people who need houses at the moment. And yeah, it is a lot, yeah. And this is and then there was some information about what was actually kind of let in like last year. And it was like something really small, like 200 homes were let last year in like 3 months or so.
Right, but there's how many people needing them?
3,963.
And only 200 were let?
Yeah, in like 3 months of last year. So there's that, which is just crazy to me.
But there are, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are the houses available, aren't there?
There's loads of houses. I think the stock in Northampton is like 11,000 and something.
So why, I don't understand why this problem will be there then. If we've got the houses, what's the...
So I had a look at like at the average weekly rents, because a lot of these people who need the houses are going to be
Low
people who are
income.
homeless,
Yeah.
low income, don't have jobs, things like that.
Yeah.
And it really shocked me to discover that for a bed sit, so this is like 0 bedrooms. This is just like
Just one. Yeah.
one place. So the average weekly rent, and this is social rent, is £65
A week.
a week. Now that doesn't seem like a lot, but if you take into consideration that for someone under the age of 24, for them to be on job seekers allowance, that's £59 a week.
So their rent is more than they're even getting from their job.
So social rent is more per week than they would get from job seekers allowance while they're looking for a job.
So it's ridiculous.
So they wouldn't be able to afford it.
They wouldn't be able to afford that.
No, they wouldn't be, and that's not even taking into consideration, bills, food, clothes, medications, anything like that.
It's ridiculous.
Childcare, like if they have children.
Yeah. That's a real sad statistic to hear.
Yeah, it's really sad, really sad. And I know that for a lot of the, because they're doing hustings at the moment, which for anyone who doesn't know, political hustings are kind of like the debates, because we've got council elections coming up in May the 6th. We're going to have council elections. And I've attended a few of these hustings, virtual hustings. And there's been a lot of times where it's been like a brag how much social housing, that we have, like in Northamptonshire. And yeah, so when I saw those statistics and when I saw how much the social rent was, I was really shocked because I was like, I wouldn't be bragging about that because it's not even low enough for someone on job seekers to afford if they're under the age of 24.
But then I don't think there should be any bragging going on when there's 2,000, whatever that figure was.
Yeah, like 3,900
people
who need homes.
Homes who haven't got one. There's something seriously wrong there, isn't there?
100%. And
sorry,
I mean, like, because so at the beginning they had affordable housing. So affordable housing was, less than the average like rent price or whatever.
Yeah.
And now they have social housing, which is even less than that because they realise that affordable housing isn't affordable for many people. So what's going to come after that? If we've gone from affordable housing to social housing, and even that is too much for many people to be able to afford, so they don't become homeless and rough sleepers, then what's
the next level?
What's the next level down? How can you go down from that?
And also, it's a real catch-22, isn't it? Because you need a house, a home, an address to be able to get a job, to be able to then earn money, to be able to afford the rent. But if you can't, they're just stuck in this cycle, and it's how do they get out of it?
Well, how can they win? How can they possibly win in that situation? Like I would go so far as to say that it's actually disgraceful.
It is.
State of affairs, and so it really kind of shocks me when you have councillors in Northampton who are like
feeling almost proud of
being like, oh well, we've built loads more social housing, but can anyone afford it? Like because if you think about it, people who are under the age of 24, if they're not living at home at their parents' houses or their guardians' houses, that says to me that there was an issue there.
Of course.
Whether it's about safety, whether it's about their orientation, maybe, because people get kicked out for that. It could be many things. Crime, gangs, all of that kind of stuff. So if they're under the age of 24, not living at home, not got any of that support, then they need even more support. Because of that, I would say.
Definitely. Oh, it's really saddening to hear, because we should live in a world where everyone can afford to live in a house.
100%. Everyone deserves to have shelter.
Everyone deserves to have their own home, and I'm not saying whatever. We all deserve a certain standard of living.
100%. Yeah.
And people aren't getting it.
No.
And it's really sad. And there's something seriously wrong that people are in
we're even in this situation.
We're start talking about it now, that there's actually so many people needing a home in Northampton. There's so many houses available, but not to them because they can't quite afford it.
I really feel like for our MPs, our councillors, we really need to hold them to account, and we really need to think very long and hard when it comes around to election time about which political party is actually going to make these changes and make it so we don't have people on the streets if they don't it's not out of choice,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the things we've spoken about with these tea and toast, because obviously housing is such a huge issue. And we really want to sort of dedicate a bit of time, maybe it'd be monthly. We haven't quite worked out the finer details yet, but to be about housing in these sessions, and when people can come down here when restrictions allow, and come in and sit and have a coffee with Georgia and I, and just, it's such an important issue, and it needs to be something that we speak about a lot.
I agree. And I think if anyone's watching this and you actually have experience or expertise in housing, then we would love to have you on to join us on a monthly basis, because
I mean, we're approaching people from the council and like housing officers, aren't we? We're trying to get them involved. We're trying to get them to come down and have the discussions with us, because it is so important. And some people, I think, probably just don't know which way to turn. And as like we always say, Georgia and I aren't the experts, but what our place is here is to sort of signpost you guys and put you in touch with the people who can help. So like Georgia said, if that's you, or if you're struggling with housing, or you just need a bit of support, we are going to do these more regularly, dedicate our tea and toast, get in touch, let us know if you think that's a good thing or not, or if you want to be part of it. Anyone is welcome. It's something that we do need to keep talking about, because it's not going to go away.
No, it's not. It's always going to be an issue. It's always going to be something that we have to, discuss, speak about and discuss. 100%.
It's just so Gary said, you have Margaret Thatcher to thank for the housing problem, as she started it all. Yeah, good old Maggie. Hey, that's we could go on to a whole nother debate.
Yeah, that's a whole other rant.
Gary, you can join us on a Maggie Thatcher debate, perhaps on another day, because I think we've all got quite a strong opinion on that lady. But so like we said, get in touch with housing. If your job, maybe you do housing, you have things, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I can't get the words out.
If you have expertise or experience,
and have a spare hour to come down and talk us through it, and perhaps talk people through the process of what to do if you're struggling to get somewhere. I think it's really important, and would really value their input, wouldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, right then. Wow. On that note, I think that's our tea and toast concluded for the morning.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We hope that you've enjoyed sitting with us. I hope you've had a nice cup of tea. I hope you've had like a slice of toast, or like a little sandwich or something.
Or maybe some gammon.
That very fishy gammon taste.
Well, thank you guys for watching this morning. It's been great having a chat with all of you. Have a great rest of the day, and in fact weekend. Weather's looking nice, and we'll be back next Wednesday with our tea and toast. So have a good one, everyone.